Neoclassical economics and ecological economics have very different views on how to achieve sustainability. One of the reasons for this is that they start from different pre-analytic visions. The fundamental vision of neoclassical economics is the circular flow diagram, while the fundamental vision of ecological economics is the economy embedded within the biosphere. In this lecture, I'm going to explore these different visions and what they mean for sustainability. Let's start with the neoclassical vision. If you open a standard neoclassical economics textbook, you'll find the circular flow diagram. In the diagram, the economy has two parts: firms, or businesses, and households. Firms produce and supply goods and services to households, while households demand goods and services from firms. Firm supply and household demand meet each other in the goods and services market, this upper loop. Prices are determined there by the interaction of supply and demand. At the same time, firms demand the factors that they need for production, such as labor and capital, from households, and households supply these factors to the firms in this lower loop. The prices of factors are determined by supply and demand in the factor market. These factor prices, multiplied by the amount of each factor owned by a household, determine the income of the household. The circular flow diagram is the basis of the national accounts and mainstream macroeconomics. However, we might ask ourselves, where is the environment in this picture? It's conspicuously absent. The circular flow diagram is an abstraction of the economy. It tends to suggest that the economy can reproduce itself indefinitely without any additional inputs. Things just go round and round and round like a perpetual motion machine. However, the laws of thermodynamics tell us there's no such thing as a perpetual motion machine. So let's look at the ecological economics vision. All of the resources required to sustain this circular flow have to come from the environment. These could be non-renewable resources like minerals or renewable resources like timber. At the same time, all of the waste produced by firms and households inevitably returns to the environment, to the atmosphere, or to other sinks like streams and lakes. Now, nature is pretty cool, and it replenishes renewable resources to some degree through biogeochemical cycles like the carbon cycle and hydrological cycle. And all of this happens on our finite planet, the Earth, and it's ultimately powered by energy from the sun. So we have two different pre-analytic visions, different starting points for analysis. In neoclassical economics, the economy is seen as an isolated system in which abstract exchange value, i.e. money, circulates between firms and households. In this vision, the economy is essentially the whole system, and if the environment is represented at all, it is just another sector of the economy. In this vision, there is no opportunity cost associated with economic growth. The economy can expand forever because nothing contains it. It's simply expanding into the void. In ecological economics, however, the economy is seen as a subsystem of the biosphere. All economic activity requires resources and produces wastes. An increase in built capital means a decrease in natural capital. It's a zero-sum game. And growth may become uneconomic if its costs exceed its benefits. So, do these different visions matter? If we accept the basic vision of ecological economics and consider the economy to be a subsystem of the biosphere, there would still be no need to stop growing the economy so long as that subsystem was very small compared to the biosphere. In an empty world, built capital is scarce and natural capital is very abundant. The matter and energy going through the economy are small compared to the regenerative and assimilative capacities of ecosystems. The marginal costs of economic growth are small compared to the marginal benefits. It makes sense to keep growing. But in a full world, built capital is suddenly very abundant and natural capital is the thing that's scarce. The throughput of matter and energy is also large compared to the regenerative and assimilative capacities of ecosystems, and the marginal costs of further economic growth are large compared to their benefits. So which world do we live in now? Is it an empty world or a full world? The Planetary Boundaries framework may provide us with an answer. The original Planetary Boundaries study was published in the journal Nature in 2009 by Johan Rockström and colleagues. In 2015, the authors published an updated version of their study in the journal Science. These are arguably the two biggest scientific journals, so not exactly a fly-by-night operation. In their study, the authors attempted to quantify the safe operating space for humanity on this planet. They identified 9 boundaries related to key Earth system processes, and you can see them here. Importantly, they found that we are currently exceeding the safe limit for 4 of these boundaries: climate change, biosphere integrity, the biogeochemical flows of phosphorus and nitrogen, and land system change. When the study first came out, the authors issued quite a dire warning, saying, transgressing one or more of the planetary boundaries could lead to catastrophic change at the continental to global scale. And here we are transgressing 4 of them. Studies like this suggest we are no longer living in an empty world. We are living in a full world, and the prescriptions of ecological economics may now be more relevant than ever.